about 25 people were curious enough to go with me there on a Saturday morning and get an hour and a half, 2-hour explanation, not much of a tour of the place exactly, because I mean they didn't have the cell all encapsulated, and people who were working there were in moon suits and stuff, which it was always interesting to me. It was like the office is on one side of a chain link fence, and on that side, people could come in slacks and a sports shirt or skirts and high heel shoes, and they were all safe because they were on that side of the chain link fence. But the people on this side of the chain link fence had moon suits on because this was dangerous nuclear stuff.
There was a great big building here in between the mound and this road, and it was the largest structure on this site. And our trailers were just on the other side of the fence. And when this big building collapsed, it was just a big dust storm. And you know what's funny is they say that on this side of the fence it's contaminated, but on this side of the fence it isn't. So when the building, everybody's got their full PPE and respirators over here when the building's falling. We're eating lunch on this side of the fence, which is 30 feet away, and that entire dust cloud went over the buildings, over 94, and it wouldn't surprise me if it made it 4061. I mean, it was a big, big dust cloud.
Now, did you clean your cars off each day?
No, none of that was required.
Not required, but you weren't worried about the dust that might have gathered?
You know, they told us it wasn't harmful. We were on the protective side of the fence.
And so then later on, they wanted to reopen the place to make Agent Orange during the Vietnam War, and they decided that it wasn't a healthy enough place to make Agent Orange. Now, you can just imagine how unhealthy is something that's not a healthy enough place to make Agent Orange.
The plant was abandoned. The various chemistry aspects, the chemicals, whatever was there that one day just stayed there.
There was 55-gallon containers, you know, stacked up. I'm sure it was neatly at the time, but over time, I mean, it looked like just a big crust pile. I mean, there's white, yellow, greens coming down out of the containers, out of boxes, coming down the walls. It was pretty horrific, actually.
So they were just disintegrating, essentially?
Disintegrating, yeah. Yeah, and you could see it running across the floor, into the ground, running out of the buildings.
So all those things were just floating around in my mind, and then children started to die. Now, these children were children who were stillborns to children who were 6 and 7 years old, whose diseases were diagnosed as some kind of leukemia.
And then I looked into the state health records, and for that county, the St. Charles County had higher incidences of cancer than the norm, higher incidences of cancer of all kinds in children, but lower incidences of heart disease or accident. And for adults, higher incidences of lung cancer, lung disease, colorectal cancer, all of which had environmental possible causes.
When I first started working here, for I would say the first 6-8 months I worked here, every day I worked out here I had a bloody nose. And I went to my supervisor and told him my nose just won't quit bleeding. He says, well, if you tell anybody, you're going to be fired.